All right, so we are back with our little Getting Lean by Spring Break series, whatever the hell you want to call it. So this is going to be a check-in, a two-week check-in, and then we're going to go over kind of phase two. And I'm going to be honest, kind of fucked up a little bit, guys. Sorry. So in all honesty, things didn't go fully as planned, and I want to share a big part of that too, because even as a pseudo fitness professional, I've been, personal training for about 12 years now. I still fuck up. It's not easy, okay? I like eating bad food too. I like drinking. I like not, skipping cardio and blah, 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 blah. So for all you out there that aren't, fitness fanatics or whatever, you're not alone too. And even us fitness fanatics have a hard time with this. At least for me, myself, I'm not a robot that wants to eat croutons and chicken breast, So let's kind of break it down. And the good thing is I'm half joking. I still overall did pretty dang well, and the reason being is because I gave myself a pretty big allowance. So if you didn't watch my first video, go check that out. But as you can see, and I broke down essentially everything I was going to do on this kind of phase one and where that would put me deficit wise. And the deficit was a giant spread. It was like 880 to like 2250 like a day, which is absurd. But I was doing a lot of snacking and things like that because I was at the kind of height of my bulk. So just by cleaning things up, and even though I didn't have perfect, I still did well, and I still ended up hitting a total loss of 4.6 pounds, and I'm going to put that somewhere around here where I have my weight trending of how I've been weighing. I've been trying to weigh myself. I'm not extremely neurotic getting it every single day. And for those of you out there, if you can, I think good. And the reason being is you'll see, you're going to have weight spikes. Mine were actually pretty crazy. I started at like 183. I know, not the biggest individual. And dropped to like 178 in like a few days. And then I had a couple shitty nights and went back up to like 182, which is crazy. But I did end up that 2 week, again, 4.6 pounds down. But again, I just want to share that weight, we want it to trend down. It's not going to be a linear thing where it's always going down. You're going to have spikes. That's going to happen. It's never going to be linear. Bugs me the most when I see clients like, oh my God, I went up 0.2 pounds. It's not working. And it's like, weight loss is not linear, will never be linear. Okay, so average out your weight for the week and compare it to the next week. It should be trending in the right direction. All right, so let's just kind of get that out there. So yes, so here's kind of the weight trends for me. And then I'm also going to show updated pictures. So I don't know where I'll do these. I'm backwards. I don't know. So starting pictures here. And I'm going to put up, I think, 3. One's going to be relaxed, flexed, and then I'll have my pump flexed. And then I'll have from yesterday, well, I'm filming this the January 23rd, so I'm going to put January 22nd date on the other side of the screen, however I want to do this, so you can kind of see progress on these ones of kind of where it's looking. So let's kind of go into it. It was anything but perfect for sure. I had a birthday party. I had snowboard trips that I went a little crazy. A birthday party, I had a little bit too many drinks. And I had, and then the next day, a little hungover, so ate like shit. I'm going to be honest with you. And then I also did a kind of impromptu snowboard trip last Wednesday night. And that was, Wednesday night, we got Wendy's. And then Thursday, coming home from the mountain, we got Taco Bell. Yep, and continued to eat Taco Bell leftovers for the rest of the night, and also had a few drinks on the mountain. So again, I want to share this and be transparent because I'm not perfect either. But look what happened. I still hit my goal, I actually surpassed it, and didn't need perfect, okay? And it worked out well. So let's go into phase 2 now. So I'm going to kind of, again, show up on the screen of what exactly I'm kind of looking to do here, my strategies. And the good thing with this one is it's not going to change all that much, to be honest. So let's go. So length for phase 2 is going to be another 2 weeks. Again, we're breaking this down to 4 2-week blocks to hit 8 weeks, about 2 months. Goals for this phase is another 2 to 3 pounds. Now, it will be a little bit harder. You have to also remember the 4.6 pounds that I lost for the first 2, probably a big chunk of that's water, glycogen, things like that. You're always going to see a pretty big spike down when you hop on some sort of, deficit. So this one will be a little bit trickier. So strategy number 1 is just going to be improve overall adherence. All right. That is the biggest thing, that kind of biggest change that I can make that will have a big positive results on scale, weight, body fat, things like that. So number 1, improve adherence. So how am I going to do that? So that's going to be number 2. It's going to have less of these YOLO meals. All right. So, and this can be hard. I think the biggest thing, 1, trying to make a commitment to yourself. So the first phase, again, I was a little bit more lackadaisical, willy-nilly with it because I knew I had, such a big allowance of calories that I was going to take out, even with having a few of these bad nights. Because before it was like on a very, very frequent basis that I was eating that shitty food because, again, it was kind of the height of my surplus bulk. All right, so less YOLO meals and days. Phase 1, unfortunately, had probably 4 or 5 of these, just being realistic. So the goal for this next phase is 1 to 2. And be realistic with it. Again, I didn't say 0. I said 1 to 2. I have a, anniversary dinner coming up on Thursday night. I'm going to enjoy myself, right? I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a couple of drinks. I'm going to have some food. But I'm going to start planning or trying to plan out some of these more cheaty meals if I'm going to try to go outside my allowance of macros and just kind of have them under control. Again, remember, not 0. You need to live life. Have a good balance on it. But let's try to just bring that down a little bit more and set up a strategy and have a plan going into the week of what we're going to do. And that's another big thing is just having a plan. Where I see people go off their diet is when they wind up like us. When we drove up to the mountains, we didn't bring food. We didn't have a plan. So it's just kind of like, fuck, what's open? All right, we're going to, Wendy's or whatever it was. And then the day coming back, same thing. We didn't pack anything. We didn't eat at all that day or the morning of. So we're hungry. Like, just go through whatever and end up being good old T-Bell. So have a strategy in place, have a plan. And then let's see if we can dial back, again, these really kind of shitty cheat meals from 4 to 5 to 1 or 2 over these next 2 weeks. Number 3 I put here is just less drinking overall, too. I did have a client's birthday, which I had a great time, and I would not take that back for anything. But yeah, I did have quite a few drinks there. So I don't think there's any birthdays coming up in the next 2 weeks. And if there is, again, I'll just be able to dial it back. I'll have to do the same thing. We generally enjoy maybe a drink or 2 snowboarding. Makes it kind of a little bit fun, but let's try to dial those back and just get a little bit more strategical with this approach, because it's just going to save a lot of calories, and overall you just feel so much better as well too. So that's basically on the nutrition side of things, on the consumption side of things, and then let's go over activity for this phase. So only 2 things that are going to be different. Workouts are going to stay the same, which again, if you watch phase 1, it's generally about 4 to 5, resistance strength training days a week. The only thing I'm going to change is having a little bit more of a conscious effort of getting 10K plus steps a day. So I started that, I think yesterday I hit 9. Today I'm already at 10.17, which usually I just need to throw in one 30-minute walk for my day in addition to whatever else I do. That one I very much like anyway. It gives me time to clear my brain. I usually listen to podcasts during that walk. I love it. I went out today and I just was like, fuck, I missed this. So that was good. So yes, conscious effort to getting my steps up a little bit more. And then the only other thing is my cycling. So phase 1, I was probably doing around an hour, maybe an hour 10 per week. Now I'm going to try to crank that up to an hour and a half and 2 hours a week. Now, again, for those of you who did not watch phase 1, this is less about I'm doing this for burning calories, and I'm doing this because I have it's like a 70 and some change, 75-mile ride coming up this summer where you hit 2 mountain peaks. So it's a shit ton of elevation, a shit ton of climbing. So I'm doing it for that purpose. And then just a little kind of sidebar and side tangent, what I think can help for any of you trying to maintain a lower level of body fat is find these active hobbies. I find it way more enjoyable, way more sustainable when you do. So again, I'm not doing this through the lens of I need to burn calories. I'm doing this through the lens of I want to be prepared for this ride, or it's going to suck, obviously. And what I've been doing the last couple of years, I've gotten more into this kind of hybrid style of training and some more, endurance cardio stuff is my dad and myself will generally choose 1 to 2 of these kind of different endurance events to tackle around each summer. And it's been super fun for numerous reasons. So I highly recommend trying to do that for any of these individuals. Get into something. If there's a sport or activity you thought about doing, do it. Sign up. Have something to plan for. I think it's awesome. But yeah, so we have that coming up in July. So that's the main thing, is just spending a little bit more time on the saddle, getting those legs ready for this ride, because it's not going to be super easy. But yeah, so super looking forward to that. Last year I trained for my first half marathon. The year before that I did a triathlon. I think this year we're going to do the bike ride and probably half marathon as well too. So it's just fun. So again, I cannot recommend that enough. I think it's a great time. Okay, so that's it for the check-in. Let's see how this week goes. I will do another check-in in 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So again, all the YouTube shit, like, comment, subscribe, all that, blah, 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 blah. If you have any questions, drop them down below. And yeah, thanks, guys.